Hi, I'm Phil, and this is Filling in the Blanks. Today, I'm going to show you how you can use home automation to help save you a lot of money. The products I'm using in today's video are made by YoLink. YoLink is not sponsoring this video, and there are other manufacturers that make similar type products. However, for my house, I've chosen to use YoLink for various reasons, and I'll touch on those throughout this video. Let's quickly go over how YoLink communicates between its devices, because when you're selecting a product for your house, how the devices communicate is essential to building the foundation to your home automation network. For YoLink, it requires a hub. Many people see the hub as being a downside. However, this is really what makes YoLink shine. YoLink uses this hub to connect to your network. It also connects to its sensors. Now, this is where things differ. YoLink uses a proprietary technology that is based off of LoRa. LoRa stands for long range. So because it uses that technology to communicate with its sensors, it can communicate up to 1,000 feet. That means that if you're installing sensors in an outbuilding such as a shed or a detached garage, or if you need a motion detector at the edge of your property, Wi-Fi really doesn't cut it. Long range does. So really the only thing to get yourself going is a YoLink Hub, the sensors of your choice, and the YoLink app. It's important to note that YoLink does not charge for its services. There is no monthly subscription fee for this. So everything that I'm showing you today is free of charge once you've bought the initial product. So here's the YoLink app. The YoLink app can be downloaded for free. It shows you all of the sensors that you have registered. So in this case, as we scroll down, you can see my temperature humidity sensors, the AC adapter for my Christmas tree, the temperature sensors, the leak detectors, the speaker hub, and so on. So with each of these, we can go into it and we can get a detail of what has happened, whether it be over the last 24 hours or before that. So this helps you analyze what is going on in that particular area or whatever that use case of that sensor is. If we go back, you can see across the top that I have this organized into different rooms within the house. So we can limit it just to the sensors that are in that room. Now let's get into how I've used home automation to help save me money. So my house is heated by a boiler system. This boiler system also heats my hot water tank. The boiler circulates hot water around the tank, which heats the water inside. So what I have done is installed a temperature sensor right on the pipe that is coming out of the boiler system. This then tells me the cycles that the boiler is having. Right now it's summertime. So in a typical house that has a natural gas hot water heater or an electric hot water heater, you would expect your boiler to be doing next to nothing. But in my case, I'll go into this heating high temp sensor and it's saying it's currently 113.5 degrees. And you can see that my boiler has kicked on 4 times in the last 24 hours. So again, why is it doing that? It's because it's heating my hot water tank. Now, where this has been used to save me money is when I first started doing this, these spikes were occurring every 2 hours. I've been able to extend that time out. What I'd found out by analyzing this and seeing how often that tank was coming on, I've determined that first off, the sensor in the tank itself that is used to indicate that hot water is demanded was faulty. So I was able to play with that, free it up, and it was starting to operate normal again. Now that was only one part of it, but you can tweak the temperature of your hot water tank and the boiler to an optimal setting. So I went from the boiler kicking on every 2 hours to heat my hot water tank to anywhere between 4 and 6 hours, which is a significant difference. And that in itself is a huge cost savings. I would not have been able to do that unless I had the data collected on how often my boiler was kicking in. How can this apply to you if you don't have the same setup that I do? Well, some of the principles still apply. Even if you have a natural gas hot water tank or if you have an electric hot water tank, you can still put a temperature sensor on it. You can see when things are kicking in, when things are heating up, and you can watch the cycle of it. You don't have to put it in a flame or right at the element, but you can put it on the tank itself. And you can see the temperature of the tank rising, just as I'm seeing the water from the boiler rising. So again, by adjusting the temperature of your hot water tank, you can get that to the point where you're getting the most efficiency out of it. And again, you can use this for other heating elements in your house or cooling elements for that matter. Now let's use those same principles of monitoring temperatures to drive cost savings. So I also have a heat pump. This heat pump for me is what is used to drive my air conditioners in the house. But a heat pump can also be used to heat your house in the wintertime. But they have a certain efficiency rating for certain temperatures. Now, a lot of them go down to minus 15 degrees, and others are more towards minus 30 degrees. But the point being is that they only operate efficiently within that certain range. So what you would do is have a temperature sensor outside monitoring the current temperature. And you would heat your house using the heat pump down to minus 14, minus 15 degrees. But then as soon as you cross that threshold and you hit minus 16 degrees, you would turn the heat pump off and you would let your other source of heating, such as natural gas or electric or propane or whatever you have, heat your house. It's going to do a much better job at those temperatures. But again, once you cross that threshold and you hit minus 15, minus 14 degrees, turn off your natural gas furnace or whatever it is that you have and use your heat pump to heat, because that is again much more efficient in that range. So monitoring temperatures and turning things off and on and tweaking things like that can save you hundreds if not thousands of dollars. So the next item is more about potential savings, and it's to protect your house and the potential damage that might occur. So in my case, this is actually how I got into YoLink and was the first product that I purchased from them. There were certain areas of my house with the boiler system and in-floor heating and such that I was concerned about leaks. So I had purchased leak sensors. So these sensors are placed around my house, again, at strategic locations, and they simply sit there on the floor. And they can sit wherever that you're concerned about. And if water passes under it or around it, it will alert my phone. And what's really nice is that even though that my phone is currently on silent, the switch is down, I will still get an audible alert on my phone despite I have it turned on silent. So let's demonstrate that. So I have a little bit of water here, and here is the water sensor. You simply put it down, and if water enters it, right away, I received a YoLink critical notification, says alert sunroom leak sensor. So immediately I'm notified that there's an issue. In this case with the sunroom, my concern was that with the number of windows in that room, that windows would be open and it would be raining outside and water would be coming in, because we did experience that. Again, having the leak detector in there gives me immediate notification, despite that my phone is on silent, that something is wrong. The next are door and window sensors. So for cost-saving measures, you don't want to have doors and windows open in the wintertime when you're trying to heat your house. That's obvious. So what you can do is install a sensor on your door so that if that door is left open for a particular amount of time, or window for that matter, it will send you an alert. So by configuring it this way, you don't get an alert every time that door or window opens and closes. You only get the alert after a period of time that you specify. Now, in my case, it was less about cost savings and more about pet protection. So we didn't want the screen doors left open so that the family pets can be let out on their own unmonitored. So we installed the sensors on each of the exits to the building. And after 20 seconds of that door being opened, we get the same audible alert on our phone, despite the phone being set to silent, letting us know that that door was left open, and we can go attend to it quickly and ensure that our pets are secure. So let's open the door. As we're waiting, I'll explain things. So my phone is on silent mode again, and I have this configured on the automation side of the YoLink app, that if that sensor shows that the door is open for more than 20 seconds, that the app will kick in. And all right, well, that was not staged. That was an exact example of what happens. The door is left open for a period of time. Cat comes out of absolutely nowhere, darts outside, and here we have it. So during that live demonstration, you heard my phone go off. I got an alert on it indicating that the screen door is open. So again, should I have actually been outside, if I was standing at the barbecue doing something, I would have been notified, turn around, and I would have seen the cat darting out down the stairs. So our process for this is that when that alert goes off, get that door closed and make sure the pets are inside the house. And then we can continue to move on. The last item I want to talk about is the vibration sensor. I've used this to watch the water usage within my house. So this vibration sensor is attached to my water pump, and when the water pump kicks in, the sensor indicates that it's on, it's being used, and when the water pump kicks off, then it's off. And again, there's probably other areas on a water system that if you don't have a water pump that you can attach this to, that it'll still detect the water flowing. So what you can do with this is, if you have, let's just say if you have a rule in your household that says no showers longer than 5 minutes, you can use this vibration sensor to tell you that the water's been used for 5 minutes, and then you take an action. That action can be a number of different things. It could be an alert to a phone, it can be an alert to the speaker, but you can also have a wall switch so that if you've used water for more than 5 minutes, that it will turn on and off the light, or reverse off and on the light in the bathroom, letting the person know to get out of the shower. In my case, it's less about the water consumption and more about concern is if there's a leak in my system. So if there's a leak, that water pump is going to continuously run. So I have an alert set at 15 minutes. So if the pump has been going for 15 minutes continuously, then I get an alert to my phone indicating that the pump has been running. And there are a lot of cases that, for me, that it's legitimate. If I'm filling the hot tub or if the sprinkler is going. But those are things that you are aware of that's happening around your house and probably less frequent. So when I'm at work and I get an alert, I know that something serious is going on because I'm not filling the hot tub right now. So this video was intended to show you that home automation can actually save you money. In my case, I have $300 or $400 in YoLink products that I've purchased for all the different items throughout my house. And I've actually seen a return on that probably 3 or 4 fold. So I've saved over $1,000 in heating costs simply by monitoring and understanding what's happening in my heating system and being able to drive efficiency using that data. Now, for you, your use cases might be different, but the whole idea of this is to start getting the thought process going of how you can use these sensors for your particular use case and actually get value out of it. So if you like videos like this, please subscribe. I have more coming and more detailed how-to of how I've actually accomplished what I've shown you today, and other items that go beyond YoLink and integrating into Home Assistant and other brands that are out there. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and have yourself a great day.